perfect. Salute, and welcome. Welcome back to the Black Ocean. And now swimming in the deep end with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Oh, yes, family. I know by now everybody has heard about this story and the outcome of the situation. A lot of people have given their conjecture, their takes on it. But what we're going to do over here tonight, we're going to cover it from a different angle. Oh, yes, we are. We're going to use it as a cautionary tale, going around a couple of bases that if anybody hasn't touched on them, they didn't stress on them enough, and that's fine because that comes upon me. If I notice something that's amiss, I take it upon myself to use my platform to fill in the blanks on those things. Now, in case you're living under a rock and you do not know who this is on your screen, this is Mrs. Cassandra Ventura there, okay, better known by her stage and performance name as Cassie. And as we all know, she came out and alleged that pedantly, Puff, love, whatever you want to call the damn devil, the damn demon. Yes, I said it. Whatever you want to call him, she alleged that, he sexually assaulted her and did all types of abuse to her. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that because, see, the tone of tonight's broadcast, it is going to be a warning, okay? It's going to be a warning to both men and women, young men and young women, okay? It's going to piss some people off. Some hit dogs will holler, so be it. I've told you before, do I even need to say it? My concern on this platform is not sparing people's feelings. It is more centered around telling the truth, okay? Because, see, one thing you better learn in life, everybody has a price, they say, okay? You better be understanding of what that price is going to be for you to have to pay for the things that you say you want, men and women alike, okay? But we're going to be dealing with her situation in particular. Let's see, I'll posit to you this. When I saw this picture, when she first came up with her head shaved on one side, I knew something was wrong right then. I said, oh, hell. I said, here we go. Because anybody that has paid attention to the life and times of Mr. Sean Combs, and I use the term Mr. loosely, you understand that this man is always involved in some type of controversy, and there's been lots of rumors about him being the biggest snake in New York, okay? We've seen how most of his artists, you go over there and then either something end up happening to you or he end up trying to screw you. The Locks are the only artists that I can think of that got out from under that snake's grip clean. But see, family, I want y'all to pay attention to something, because primarily if you're a black father, you better sit your baby girls down and talk to them. Unfortunately, in our community, in the majority of our community, Got to tell the truth. When it comes to success or wealth, the first and foremost thing on a lot of people's minds in the community, you point towards the entertainers, the athletes, and people like that. So if you don't know how to play ball or some type of sport, or if you're not trying to rap or sing, then most people don't think that they've become successful or financially stable, and that is not true. We got to start steering our young ones' minds into another direction as far as that's concerned. Okay? Not saying there's anything wrong with you having a talent, you trying to pursue your dream, but when you start trying to, or when you start telling yourself that you'll do anything, keyword emphasis on anything to attain that dream, now you got problems on your hands. Okay. So I'm just letting y'all know I'm not going to hold back. If you have any sacred cows tonight out of anybody that I'm about to mention, this is going to hurt your feelings. It's going to piss you off. I'm just going to go ahead and give you advance warning. So with that said, we're going to get ready to get into this. But before we do that, let me greet my esteemed guests that I see in the building. I see Seven Skills in here. I see the brother artist Doucette. I think brother. I see the good sister Patricia Jenkins. What's going on? Salute to you as well, sister. I see Sandra Elvis in the house. The sister Stun Zed in the building. Goddess Navi is joining us. Patricia Slade is joining us. Salute to you and everyone else that'll be joining us in attendance here tonight. So, family, we're going to go ahead and get straight to brass tacks here because, like I said, in case anybody's been on the rock, these are the developments. And as you see here, this is courtesy of CNBC. Okay, Sean Combs, Cassie settled her bombshell R-word sex trafficking lawsuit a day after filing. Okay, so that's what has happened since all this has come out. Let me clear something up right now, because I've heard a lot of people take issue with the term sex trafficking. Understand that when it comes to that term, it's not just talking about little kids. It refers to adults as well, okay? And then, like I told you on a previous broadcast, know the laws in your state about certain things, especially if you're a black man or woman. Do not go off what people you heard say or whatever. You need to find out what something exactly is. I pride myself on giving accurate information on this channel, and I encourage others to get accurate information. So that's one thing that I heard that people were confused about, why they saying sex trafficking when she's an adult or what have you. I'm like, man, listen, you better understand how these laws are set up today. So now let's just go ahead and deal with it straight off top. I'm going to say it straight out. Yes. I do believe that he did a lot of what she's claiming that he did, that she's alleging that he did. I do believe that Sean Combs, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him, did a greater majority of what she did. However, here's the issue, and we're going to break this down tonight. The issue is most women, if somebody did that to you, you would not sit and wait over 10 years to come forward and say what happened to you. See, most women in their right frame of mind, this is where it comes in. I was talking about you saying you'll do anything to get what you want as far as any type of goal or dream that you have. When you sell your soul, that always backfires on you, okay? Because, see, I'm just going to go ahead and say it straight off top. We're going to get into some of what I'm about to say, too. I'm going to prove my statements here tonight. If all of that happened exactly the way she said it did, think about it. Most women in here, and I hope to God that none of you have ever had to suffer that. If you ever did have to suffer any type of sexual assault, my heart goes out to you. You know how I feel about that over here on this channel. I don't care which end of the spectrum it's coming from, men or women. That is despicable. And if I were in charge, trust me, I can't say what I would do to curtail that, but y'all heard my previous broadcast. Now, that has been said, most women in here, if something that traumatic happened to you one time, just once, you would not put yourself in a situation where you going back to your abuser. Ladies, that makes no sense on the planet, especially if you get into a situation where you have your own money to pretty much facilitate you going wherever you need to go. And here's the other problem that I have with Cassie coming out with this. And again, I believe a lot of what she's saying is the truth. Okay, some of it may have been embellished, but I'm not putting that past them. just based off the snake that we're dealing with here. But here's the other problem. You had to engage in transit back and forth to go and meet up and be in this man's presence. Ladies, I want y'all to tell me if this makes sense to you or not, what I'm about to say. If that happened to you, any of you in this chat room that have common sense and you value yourself and you're in your right frame of mind, we'll put it that way. You got access to the type of money that she had, okay? And you have been abused like that and you know who did it. Out of all these places that you're going to and from, you mean to tell me you couldn't go straight to a police station? Huh? Come on now. We got to make this make sense, because again, I vehemently despise any type of rapist or sexual predator or what have you, but we gonna make this thing make sense over here tonight. You trying to tell me that you couldn't do that at no point in time, and then waiting all this time? See, let me put it out here plain. I'm very sympathetic to people that has happened to, but see, these women that's coming out here out the woodwork after all this time, now you can speak. I can understand if something like that happened to you and you traumatized by it and it takes you a couple of days, maybe a week. But at some point, you need to go straight to the authorities, not Instagram, not other people, not the court of public opinion. You need to go to law enforcement. Why? And I want all the women listening to the sound of my voice, even if I offend you, to concentrate on the words that are about to come out my mouth next. You should want to go to the authorities, because you would think, okay, if this bastard is out here doing this to people, and I know he did it to me, you should want to put that son of a bitch away so he can't do it to the next person. See, do you understand, ladies, how treasonous that is to the rest of you that have been through that, or that could be potential victims of it if you don't get these types of predators off the streets? But see, it's two devils here. Oh yeah, it's not just one devil. She's a devil and he's a devil. I know you like, oh, how could you say that? Oh, yes, I am. Because bitch, if you know he did that to you, why in the hell you not gonna go to the authorities to get his ass taken off the streets? See, let me make something clear right now, because I'm gonna piss off men and women over here tonight, but I stand on my integrity, and mine is not to be compromised. I am not the type of black man, foundational black American freedman man, to say just because it's another black man, oh, they're trying to bring a brother down. Yes, we know about the system, but these types of things, and after people have said the same things over and over and over and over and over, there's some truth to that somewhere. People don't just keep saying the same things about somebody. There's no truth to it at all, as far as Sean Diddley Datley Combs, whatever you want to call his ass. So that's my stance on it. I'm like this. I don't care whether it's men or women, because I'm never going to be on that believe all women or believe all anybody. I'm going to say, wait a minute. Let's look at the facts and let's get the truth of what happened, or as best as we can ascertain it. And I'm going to put 2 and 2 together and be like, wait a minute, 2 plus 2 is 4, it's supposed to be, but it's not adding up in your case. So yeah, that's where I'm going with this. We're going to get into some of these things too, because in case people are, oh, you blaming the victim. No, you are not a victim if you keep willingly putting yourself in proximity to somebody that harms you. See, think about it, ladies. Even if I make you mad here tonight, ask yourself this question. What sense would it make if you know who your abuser is to keep going back to them? And see, I'm gonna thread the needle with the Keke Palmer thing too. Yeah, that's why I believe she's full of shit. I'm gonna tell you why. Because see, it'll be one thing if you were in a situation where you didn't have access to any type of financial capital to get yourself to safety or try to get to where you're not around your abuser. If you keep going back to them by choice, first of all, you got to be the biggest fool in the world, because if somebody putting their hands on you and they subjecting you to all these things that she say she suffered, that could end up costing you your life. Most women in here got more sense than that. And see, I'm telling you, ladies, y'all better start cracking down on these heifers that pull this shit just to get the bag, get all of y'all riled up, and y'all stand behind your sisters, because of course that's a terrible thing. And if somebody did that, you're supposed to stand behind them. But y'all, at some point, y'all gonna have to start seeing these people that's trying to finesse, be like, hey, bitch, listen, yeah, you got your bag, but what about the rest of us that probably gonna have to suffer this? What about the rest of us the next time we or some of our family members, daughters, nieces, aunts, whatever, have to deal with that? We go to report it and nobody wants to believe us because of your raggedy ass. See, that's the context you need to think about this. So I told you, I'm going to come at it from the angle that a lot of people not really coming at it from tonight, okay? So here's my message to you young men. A lot of you are from different walks of life. In my chat room here, let me caution you on something, brothers. When you become successful, and I don't care whether it's entertainment or just in layman's terms, a business owner, whatever, you better be very careful of the company you choose to keep as far as women that you have around you. Don't be playing games with nobody. Don't be lying to nobody. Do not let that money, especially as a black person in America, make you think that your ass is invincible. Because see, when you get up there and you start trying to do what the Sean Diddy Combs and all do, see, I'm going to tell you what the problem is. A lot of these people, these black folks, whether it's politicians, athletes, entertainers, whatever, they get the hobnobbing around white people and they start thinking, I'm better than the rest of these niggas. I'm just like them. And they see all the illegal stuff that the dominant society does. And they always tell themselves, well, now that I've got this money, I can do what they do and get away with it. No, your black ass can't. Okay, you can't. And you shouldn't want to, depending on if it's something to harm somebody. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to get in my bag tonight. So I'm just letting y'all know where the broadcast going. Like I said, you a hit dog, you get the hollering, it is what it is. I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty over here tonight. So I just want to bring y'all up to speed on letting everybody know this coming in. Yes, I understand and I know that it has been settled, but we're going to get into some more things here because, see, let me go ahead and bring this up. Out of business, let me take this banner down because I want everybody to see this clearly. Now, everybody recognizes the devil up here on the screen because I'm going to call him what he is. I have zero respect for this son of a bitch or anybody like him, okay, for a number of reasons, all right? But here's a statement. Quote, just so we're clear, a decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He is happy they got to a mutual settlement and wishes Mrs. Ventura the best. Ben Braffman, lawyer for Mr. Combs. So that was his lawyer put out the statement. Let's go ahead and clear something up right now, okay? Said that they sued for $30 million. For a lot of people that don't understand how that works, she did not get the whole $30 million. She didn't get more than $30 million. How that usually works. What happens is that it was probably between 10 and 15. That's usually what happens. So she got probably at the maximum half of what she was asking for. Okay, that's usually how that works. I've seen these things go down for years. Now let's deal with the statement that his lawyer put out. That is true for the most part. If you decide to settle out, a lot of people just say, okay, I just don't want the headache of trying to take nothing to trial, ruin my reputation. That is true in part. However, if you know that somebody got all this type of dirt on you, because think about it, she says she was around him and endured that for 10 years. This lets you know that some of that has to be true because, see, let me tell you something about your brother here, the way my family raised me. If you come out and accuse me of something that despicable and underhanded, you goddamn right. We taking this shit to trial because I know I'm not guilty. And listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm a vicious motherfucker when it comes to my reputation, okay? You accuse me of something that I know I didn't do. But see, for me, the way I was raised, see, everybody ain't going to get this. But see, I'm just speaking on the type of family I come from. My family name has honor to it, okay? And there's certain things that those of us in my family, we don't want that stigma, that shame on the family. We don't have people in our family that engage in that kind of stuff. So I damn sure wouldn't want to be the first accused of that. So if you accuse me of that, oh yeah, I'm going to court. We got to clear my name. And then I'm going to come after your ass with everything I got after I'm proven not guilty. I'm trying to tell you. So that lets me know that, yeah, there's some truth to it. And so the smart thing for him to do would be to settle out, to try to just let it go, get swept under the rug. So now, here's my question to those of us in Black society. This is where we're going to separate the wheat from the chaff. I don't care whether it's black men or black women. When certain people do certain things in our community, it's time to throw their asses in the trash can. If we really going to be the type of people we say we want to be, I don't give a fuck how famous you are. I don't give a fuck what your reputation is. Don't care how much money you got, because that's another bad problem we got in our community. Looking at people because they got a certain amount of money and placing their asses up on a pedestal. If I find out you did anything to kids, elderly people, handicapped folks, you're forcing yourself on folks. I don't want nothing to do with your ass, okay? That's my permanent stance on that. I just want to be clear on this, okay? We ain't done yet, though. Oh, no. We going to get heavy off to this thing tonight here. See, I'm not going to mince any words. I don't admire nobody and put nobody on no goddamn pedestal like this damn devil that you looking at on your screen here. I don't have that issue with athletes, entertainers, or nobody. Yes, I understand our position as black folks in a system of white supremacy, but I don't worship nobody, okay? If I find out that you got something like that going on, especially you got a history of that, I'm trying to stay as far away from you as possible. And if I got to be around you, I'm going to be prepared to deal with your ass because I look at you as a threat. That's how I look at it, okay? That's me. I can't speak for nobody else. I'm speaking for GBS, Great Black Shark. This is me speaking on this, okay? So now, let's go on up here and let me show you something else. While you're looking at this damn devil on the screen, he got the right colors on. Let me take this banner down. Of course, never late. Everybody knows Mr. Curtis Jackson, better known as 50 Cent. He'll never be late on his trolling. So here's what 50 went in and posted on Instagram. 50 always been the clown that he is, and you know him and Puffy have had somewhat of a rivalry, so forth, back and forth, because see, 50 got the kind of money where Puffy can't just get at him like he's gotten at other people. They kind of on even footing. But I remember years ago when a lot of this stuff started to come to the surface about Cassie. Who remember when 50 put old girl business out there on Instagram? Like, you know 50 a wild boy. He don't care, okay? He put all the business out there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do your research on that. I cannot put that on YouTube, know what I want to. But y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So here go 50. LOL. He paid that money real quick. Should have done that before the shark saw the blood in the water. And here they come, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Every woman he put his hand on. And that's what 50 said. Now, whether you like 50 or not, he's right. He's right. Because see, now, all it takes is one woman to come forward and say, hey, I was in a similar situation to you, and you got the bag. Because see, the rest of them didn't have the courage to challenge him because of his position in that city and all the favors that he's done for people. And, you know, he's well known. And Mr. Teflon, every time you get into something, you get yourself out of it, you get your attorneys, pay people off. Like the situation with Steve Stout with his punk ass. He bought his cheap ass for $500,000. This man bust you upside your head with a damn champagne bottle. Let me tell you something. If you even flinch like you wanted to put it, bust me upside the head with a champagne bottle, boy, it would have made the news all kind of places. Because if I'd have got my hands on you, I'd have made you eat that damn bottle. But that's just me. Like I said, I'm cut from a different cloth of manhood. But see, regarding what 50 is saying here, the other women that were afraid to say something, oh, let me tell you, Gloria already is doing the Birdman hand rub. She finna get all of them together. They finna come after his ass. He got this Keefy D thing to deal with too. Oh, boy, it's time. They coming, boy. Because see, I'm going to tell you why. If they were in a similar situation to Cassie, they gonna say, okay, this worked for her. Let's pay attention. So in case people think that I'm reaching with this, I'm going to show you how you got to understand how these types of women operate. We're going to switch gears a minute, but I'm switching gears to prove a point with what I'm saying. Remember the Home Depot girl? Remember her, everybody? I know you're like, how does this have anything to do with it? Just bear with me for a minute. Remember the Home Depot girl? She came out and took that picture of her in her apron at Home Depot, right? So now after she did that and she jumped up on Instagram and showed that Shaq was in her DMs, what did every other woman start doing after that? It was just clonapalooza. Oh, I know, boy, I tell you, boy, some of these chicks, boy, as soon as you see one chick do something and they saw she got that attention from Shaq and her DMs, and she was stupid for doing that. Because I've told y'all before, if a celebrity or something like that hop in your DMs, ladies, keep your damn mouth shut. Learn how to play the game so you can get something out of it if you're going to do that. Her silly ass wouldn't put all that out there, so now they be like, oh, you talk too much. But all the other women started, oh, I'm in a Home Depot apron. Just all of a sudden, everybody in Home Depot aprons. So I said that to say this. It's going to be monkey see, monkey do. All the rest of his little concubines going to come out. They be like, why should that bitch be the only one to get the bag? Hey, I've been abused too. You know, come on now. Hey, I need to get some of what she getting over here, okay? So that's where it's going. Just expect that. But see, let me talk to my fellas for a minute. Fellas, let me tell you something. Do not emulate or idolize bastards like this. Stop thinking just because somebody has a lot of money that's somebody you're supposed to look up to and idolize. Don't do that, okay? You better start looking at the character of people, all right? Stop looking at just because everybody give them a pass and everybody kissing their ass and let that make you think that that's a good person. And see, as far as you putting yourself in the position that he's in, I don't care how much money you got. My father always taught me and still says it to this day. It has been in our family. There is not one dime on this planet worth your damn reputation. And I flipped that right back around to her little thought in the try to ass, because you sat up there and stayed in close proximity to this man for over 10 years because you wanted a record contract. See, this speaks to her parents as well. Oh, yeah, I'm going here because it starts at home. We're going to be thorough with this. What type of daughter are you raising where if they didn't encourage it, for her to sell her soul basically and put up with all of that abuse? See, you think about it, why it doesn't make sense that she was being forced upon, especially if you willingly going to him. You mean to tell me the first time he did that, you're not going to tell none of your family members? Huh? See, it's a lot that just don't make sense with what she's trying to say and trying to play like, oh, she was just a victim. And see, at 19, yes, anything teen is still teenagers. Yes, we know our brains are not fully developed until we're 25. But at that point, you old enough to make your own damn decisions. And you got sense enough, because she's not mentally ill. She's not nobody with no type of mental disability that we know of. You know, if somebody does something like that to you, not to place yourself back in harm's way. I'm like, come on now. Yeah, let's cut that out, man. Like I said, most women in here with sense would never agree to put themselves in that situation. So, yeah, I'm going to get this damn devil off the screen here. But we ain't done, though. We're going to dive into some things because, see, we're going to get deep into the allegations that she made, okay? And then we're going to further study things. So we're going to do a little trip down memory lane, get caught back up to speed. And if you think that what I said was hard so far, oh, you ain't heard nothing yet, I'm just getting started. Let's get into it.
Tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, there was some news that just came off the press that has everybody talking right now. And it's about your boy Diddy, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever name you want to call him this week. He's in the news because his former girlfriend, Cassie, has dropped a bombshell of a lawsuit on him. Now, we know for years there's been some funny style things going on with Puffy. We know all his artists, the majority of them were done dirty by him. He didn't pay him right. We know all the strange deaths that's been around him. Definitely we knew the one about Kim Porter. That was kind of, everybody would say, what's up with that, right? Then, you know, when I heard that Keefy D, if you know who Keefy D is, he was a guy that got arrested recently for his involvement with the death of Tupac Shakur. I knew something was going to come up about Puffy, and I thought it was been relating to Tupac, but I did not know that it was going to come at him this way. So let's kind of get into it. Some of this stuff is wild that Cassie is alleging. So Cassie has alleged that Puffy violated her, you know what word I want to say, and repeatedly physically abused her and in the new federal lawsuit. Now they say Puffy, or P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him this week, is allegedly controlled and abused Cassie for over a decade, as well as giving her drugs, beating her, and forcing her to have relations with multiple male prostitutes while he watched and recorded. Boy, so he's kind of sick, allegedly. It say the pair, who met in 2005 when she was 19 years old, split in 2018. The lawsuit claims that just before the end of their relationship, he forced his way into her home and violated her. Now, Puffy is 54 years old. He vehemently denied all of the offensive and outrageous allegations. Now, Cassie, whose real name is Cassie Ventura, said in a legal document that was filed in Manhattan's federal court on Thursday, say after years in silence and darkness, I am finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships. Now, it said her lawyer, Douglas Wigder, it said claimed Puffy offered her 8 figures to silence her and prevent the filing of this lawsuit. Say, but that she declined to give a voice to all women who suffer in silence. Now, among the serious allegations, he said, is that Puffy trafficked Cassie, 37 years old, to male prostitutes to fulfill his voyeurism fantasies in hotels and at his home. As the lawsuit claims, she was directed to, have relations with multiple men, sometimes in masks and costumes. While the music exec watched, he took care of himself, you know what I'm talking about, and filmed. Well, there was other people that had been saying some kind of wild stuff about him too, even about men. This one guy said that he had kind of saw him in a room with a bunch of men, and all these men were not clothed. And he said that he kind of ran up on him and said, you didn't see nothing in here, right? Like that. So it's all kind of craziness been surrounding him for a very long time. Now, I said Cassie has said in the documents called the ordeals horrific encounters, she had to take drugs to disassociate during the arrangements, which Diddy called freak offs. That's an interesting thing to call it, isn't it? Allegedly. And said the lawsuit states that the music executive who she first met as a teenager told her it would turn him on if he saw her with another, and he used an eggplant. He said he allegedly hired a man and brought him to his home in Los Angeles to engage in the relations with Cassie. He said Mr. Combs directed Ms. Ventura to perform acts. He said with the man. He said while Mr. Combs watched, according to the lawsuit. He said Puffy, took care of himself, you know what I'm talking about, while he was directed Ms. Ventura and the man to do specific acts. It said the entire encounter lasted multiple days. She also claimed Puffy got drunk during, a freak off, around March 2016 and punched her in the face, leaving her with a black eye. Cassie says she tried to leave the hotel room when he fell asleep. But he woke up and began screaming at her. He allegedly grabbed her and took the glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash all around them as she ran to the elevator to try to escape. So she managed to escape to her apartment, but claims she returned over fears he would be even angrier. When she returned.
Now let me pause my good brother Phil right here, okay? Now, Phil is going over all of this, and all of you have seen it by now. A lot of people have gone through the entire lawsuit and all of that. Let's just use our common sense. I don't care what age you are. Again, the first time that somebody engages in that type of behavior where they show that they're a threat to you or they harm you, and then you get away from the person, but you go put yourself back into that situation. Because see, let's go ahead and deal with the most important thing that a lot of people not talking about, or I hadn't heard nobody say nothing about it. We're going to talk about it over here tonight. If what she alleges happened where he paid other male prostitutes to lay up with her ass, heifer, don't you understand that even if he had them scream for diseases, you putting your body at risk? And see, I'm going to tell you why I believe it more than I don't. Family, you better start watching these athletes, celebrities, and entertainers when every time you look up, you see them hobnobbing with a whole bunch of white people. They don't either the one or the only Negro there. See, let me tell you why you better start worrying about that. Men and women. Because what I've noticed is people that have all the white folks around them, that's when they get up to that level, they start adopting their habits, okay? You see, look, let's just call it what it is, especially politicians. All of them, A-double-L-L, a capital double L-L. Every single one of them right there, they are the biggest pimps, drug dealers, hoes, prostitutes, whatever you want to name. All of them got chicks on the side, men on the side, and all kinds of crazy stuff. And they try to keep all that secret. But see, you notice that, and just look at whether it's Donald Trump or anybody else you want to name, Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Notice that when it's time to use it against their opponents politically or whatever, and all that dirt start coming out. See, they all know each other's dirt, okay? It's certain circles that you can't get into unless you coming in there and they know they got some dirt on you. They got to have you, they initiate you. Be like, okay, just in case you go to talking, we got to have you participate in this. We're going to take these pictures, this video. You know, that's just on the low end of it, okay? Man, listen, let me tell you something. I know what I'm talking about for a fact because those of you that have been on my channel, I've told you, I've got family members that have worked security at a lot of these high profile nightclubs and had certain clients, and I can't name names or stuff, but I know what I've seen working with my uncles and cousins around some of these people, let me tell you something about me. A lot of y'all be thinking you want to be up under all these damn celebrities and stuff like that. No, I don't. Because a lot of them, not gonna say all, but a lot of the ones that y'all think you want to be up under, especially you women, you better pay attention. You have no idea what type of people these really are. Do you understand me? No idea. I'm just talking about from the minor things of all the groupies. And I'm gonna do a broadcast on that coming up too, to further prove the point of what I'm gonna drive home here tonight about how dangerous being a damn groupie is. Do y'all understand what some of these hoes have to do just to get close to these celebrities, go backstage when they be on their tour buses and stuff? Dude, y'all have no clue. You really don't understand. And I've said it before on previous broadcasts. Young brothers, if you got a chick that's always trying to chase these celebrities and stuff around, and she get to talking about she finna go backstage here to dump that bitch, I'm telling you, take my word for it, leave her ass alone. Because, see, a lot of them are so weak-minded, just like Cassie. We gonna call it what it is. You get enamored with all the glitz and glamour that the devil will present in front of you. But then again, when you get into a situation where now you got to regret it because it's not going like you planned, now all of a sudden you want to turn into a victim. No, it's too late now. No, you in there, in for a penny, in for a pound. See, because I'm going to point something else out about why it's dangerous for a lot of you ladies that think that he got money, I want to be up on him. Okay. I'm going to point something out later in this broadcast about why that's dangerous. Okay. Even though I know in our society that a lot of y'all got a bad habit of trying to get in certain circles and throwing caution to the wind. But I'm going to point something out to you about people that have that kind of wealth, why they mistreat people like that. Because I know firsthand and I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But we're going to let Brother Phil continue here because, see, again, a lot of stuff that she's alleging, I honestly believe it happened, but you not as innocent as you claim because the time span, over 10 years, you ain't broke now. He ain't got you chained in the basement. You on planes and going everywhere, but see, as soon as something happened you don't like, or I'm just going to tell you what I believe happened. The little white dude that she married to now, I don't think she told him about none of it. This is me. I'm giving you my conjecture. I don't think she told him about it. What happened was somebody came and told him about that shit. And they probably brought him enough proof to say, hey, whoa, we got to have a conversation. You did what? That's more likely what happened. Because, see, let me tell you something. Zaddy, boy, a lot of y'all, y'all really don't understand the psychology of how Zaddy thinks. Y'all really don't. But I honestly think that's probably what happened more than likely. We're going to get back into it because, see, we're going to do a further deep dive beyond what Brother Phil is talking about here, but I want to let it continue here.
Turn is a hotel security staff urged her to get back into the cab and go to her apartment, suggesting they had seen the security footage showing Mr. Combs beating Miss Ventura. It said, and throwing glass at her in the hotel hallway, according to this federal lawsuit. Then she continued to say she alleged that Puffy paid the hotel staff $50,000 for the hallway security footage from that evening. And they say on another occasion in 2013, Puffy allegedly set up a freak off and was charged tens of thousands of dollars in damage by the hotel. Now, Cassie, was expectedly to facilitate the location and hiring of, male workers, for the freak off, according to the lawsuit, and saying she was allegedly instructed to use websites and escort services to find men with large eggplants, particularly black men. We'll make sure we say that. Now, they said it also alleged that Puffy would insist on the encounters weekly and that he repeatedly told her it was our thing and our secret. Well, Puffy, if this is what you were doing, why don't you just watch some adult films? Why would you do that to the woman? If that's what happened. But, I'm like I said, we don't have a court date, but due to all the things that's kind of been surrounding you, and every time somebody about to write a tell-all book about you, all of a sudden they come up, dead. You know what I'm saying? Now, Cassie claimed that the freak-off would often take place in the hotel suites, including the Trump International Hotel in Columbus Circle, Le Emirage, Beverly Hills. They said the London Hotel in Los Angeles and Intercontinental hotels across the country. It said his assistants would allegedly help set up the freak-offs, it said by providing baby oil and lubricant. Now, according to the lawsuit, Mr. Combs always supplied Miss Ventura and the worker, and say with copious amounts of drugs before and during the free calls. Well, this is, for me, this is weird. Why would you want to sit here and watch your woman be with another man? I mean, seriously, that doesn't make sense to me, because any kind of real man is territorial, right? And you don't want another man touching your woman. So if any man, ladies, will sit up here and tell you that he wants you to be with another man and he wants to watch you with another man, first of all, he's weird. Second of all, he's extremely feminine. That's how I look at you, because real men are territorial. Third, that's not nothing that you're trying to get into or with. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who do that, like, you cool with watching your wife with another man? You know what I'm saying? Now, look, that's the things them folks be doing. And what them folks do is their business, right? But we talking about black people. This is not how most black men get down. Now, of course, I would say allegedly, but it's kind of detailed with all this stuff she's saying.
So now I'm going to pause my good brother Phil right here, okay? I'm going to pause him right here. Salute to my good brother Phil. He's a married man, stand-up dude, excellent businessman, does great work, great journalism, and he's right about what he's saying as far as you women, that if you see that some dude is into that and he trying to get you to participate in that, you would be best to cut that off. But I can explain exactly why he would do it, my brother Phil, because see, brother Phil is a straight-up dude. I'm going to state the reason. It's going to make sense to everybody why Puffy or anybody that would do that, okay? Because first of all, Phil is right. That's something that comes from them folks, okay? We know who them folks are. But having family having family that has worked security, private clubs, and work private security for people, I've done it at times, okay? Let me tell you something. People on the level of a Sean, Diddy, Combs, whatever, when they start rubbing elbows with them white folks, like I already said, they adopt their habits. But this is what you women better listen to tonight here, okay? You better put your listening ears on, because I'm telling you something that could save your life. The reason why all that happened to Cassie, and she participated willingly, that woman is not a victim. I'm not trying to hear that. When you start getting in the presence of wealthy men and they start showering you with all these lavish gifts, they're taking you on trips, paying for places for you to stay, like all of that. Let me tell you how these men are looking at you. They're not looking at you like, oh, boy, I'm happy to be spending all this. They look at you with resentment, because listen to what I'm telling you about the psyche. I want you to listen. The psyche of that type of individual looks at you as like, you're using me. You leeching off my money. They'll give you all of that to see you happy. And then they'll be like, oh, bitch, you just don't know what you finna have to do to earn your keep with this, though. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Do you hear me? That's how they think. They look at you as like, oh, you parasite, you. I got something for you. Yeah, you think I'm gonna lavish all this on you? Okay, well, that means I own you now. And you gonna do whatever I want you to do. And see, as far as him sitting there, having her be with all them other guys, look, that go to show you what he's been into and probably what has been done to him. Probably. Come on now. That type of weirdo crap, because like Phil said, most of us are territorial of our women. Even if you're a player, you don't really want nobody else dealing with your other chicks if you got more than one. Okay? But see, in his mind, she's an object. Do you understand me? Wealthy men of any race, a lot of them that have that degenerate mindset, you are not a human being. Do you understand me? A lot of you little starstruck helpers, you think you're going to get around them people and everything going to be all good. You're going to be taking your little pictures, showing off so that all your homegirls see what you're doing. There's a price to that, because you're looked at as an object, not a person. Let me know if what I'm saying makes sense to you in the chat here. Give me a thumbs up if you can understand what I'm saying. Because, see, I want to break this down where everybody get it. Ask questions if you don't understand what I just said. Because, see, the average person, like my good brother Phil here, married man, straight up dude, it's weird to the average person, okay? But, see, to somebody that's been around them circles and see how them people act, let me tell you something. Some of these people I done met, man, I don't want nothing to do with them bastards. Now, if we doing business, yeah, okay, security, whatever, okay, cool. But as far as wanting to hang out with your ass, no, I'm good. I don't want nothing from you. Don't invite me to nothing you got going on. I don't want to be nowhere around you, okay? I'm just trying to tell you, I want you to make sure that you ask questions if anything I said went over your head, because we're going to get deeper than this, okay? So that's the answer to my good brother Phil's question, because, see, it's no slight on Phil for him not to understand that he's a normal person, okay? Like most of us, normal people that don't engage in this type of degenerate behavior. But that's the reason. I'm going to say it one more time in case somebody just came in here. You women, especially you young ones, that thinking if you get around an NBA player, NFL player, one of these rappers or whoever, and you thinking that, okay, everything is going to be sweet and he just going to be, see, there's no such thing as a free lunch. You understand? There's no such thing as a free lunch. There's going to be a price that you pay for that. Okay? Especially the more that you indulge and this person starts spending big ticket items on you, you really don't think it's going to be no cost for that. If you don't really know the character of this person and they're not genuinely interested into your well-being and trying to start something serious with you, because see, her first clue with her little young dumb ass should have been, okay, if he's willing to share you with other men like that, let me tell you something. You better listen to what Brother Phil said. If any of us as men are okay with sharing you with other men, that lets you know what we think of you. Do you hear me? Because see, something that we value, like Phil said, I can't stress it enough. We are possessive. When it comes to intimacy, we're not trying to share a woman that we care about with no other man. No, you can't plant the flagpole in something that belongs to me, because if I find out that's what's going on, hey, you can have her, buddy. She's all yours. Everything that comes with her, you can have her. If you belong to me, you belong to me, okay? So that should have been the first clue right there. But see, if you don't have fathers in your lives, and see, let's go here. Whether you look at the R. Kelly situation, a lot of people saying, well, where were her parents and all of this? Hell, you got some parents that encourage their daughters to go through it, whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what happened, and somebody ends up coming out saying, yeah, her parents knew about it all the time. They were like, hey, you better stay close to that bag. Okay. Is it worth you selling your soul to get a bag? But we ain't done yet. Oh, we're going to break this thing down from several angles that I ain't really heard nobody go into deep detail with. Let it continue.
Now, say Miss Ventura was given ecstasy. They say she was given coke. They say GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during freak-offs, which allowed her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. They say it became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after the freak-off to recover, say, from excessive substances pushed upon her. Now, Cassie was allegedly required to dress up in lingerie for the encounters and wear white nail polish to contrast with the skin of the black male worker. She claimed Diddy would ask her to pour excessive amounts of oil over herself and say before he instructed her and the worker what to do. Also, they said Mr. Combs, they would say things like, grab that big black eggplant, and ask her, how does it feel? And he directed her to perform for him. Now, she also says that Puffy allegedly used his phone, laptop, and tablet to film the freak-offs and treated it like a personal art project. They're adjusting the lighting. It said Cassie said she deleted photographs and videos and say of the acts and say if they were taken on her phone, but claimed Diddy told her he kept many. Well, if he did keep that somewhere, he kept all them videos. Ooh, she got him dead to rights. And I'm gonna tell y'all, this stuff is a criminal case, actually. I mean, this is straight criminal. And in New York, they don't have a statute of limitations on things like this. They actually have a law for that, right? So that's why she filed this in New York. Now, I said a lawsuit also claims and said that he asked Ventura to carry his gun in her purse on at least 2 occasions. Diddy allegedly plied her with ecstasy and ketamine and often beat her up. That she never told authorities because it said it would merely give Mr. Combs another excuse to hurt her. So she felt she couldn't go to the authorities. Now Cassie alleged that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car around February 2012 after he found out they were in a relationship together. She claimed he went through her phone and found emails between her and the rapper and became enraged. Now, say Diddy allegedly placed, a manual corkscrew, in between his fingers and lunged it at her, according to the lawsuit, and she ran away to stay with Kid Cudi. Now, say Cassie later returned, and the music executive allegedly hit her several times and then kicked her in the back as she tried to run out the door. Said during Paris Fashion Week, she claims Diddy told her that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to make sure he was home with his friends when it happened. They say around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway, according to the lawsuit. They say Miss Ventura was terrified and she began to fully comprehend what Mr. Combs was both willing and able to do to those he believed that had slighted him. Now, in August 2015, Diddy allegedly picked up her friend like a child and dangled her over the 17th floor balcony while intoxicated at Cassie's surprise birthday dinner and say for her 29th birthday. So I guess he's acting like old Suge Knight, huh? So it said Cassie claimed that Diddy forced her to stay at his home in Holmby Hills and said with one of his sons after one beating. Say while there, Mr. Combs FaceTimed Miss Ventura and stated, "You got to go up and put more makeup on. My son can't see you like that." And said Cassie also claims that Diddy would threaten to suppress her music if she did not obey his violent orders. He also paid for her car and apartment and had access to her personal medical records. Now, about the music aspect, I do believe that because that man was doing all his orders wrong. All of them. You know, this is the thing. We're going to continue this. I'm a big believer of this, and I've seen this my whole life. What's done in the dark going to always come to light. Always. You think you're getting away with something. You think you're going to hide it. You think you're going to pay people off. No. Even if you pay people off, people can be like, man, forget it. I don't even care what happens. I'm going to say something. That's why I always tell people, live a righteous life. Live to be good. You know, good as possible. Because you have an opportunity of this world, right, to make millions of dollars. Think about the legacy this man would have if he would just done everybody right. If he would have done Biggie right. If he would have done Craig Mack right. If he would have done 112 right. He would have done Mace right. He would have done all Danny Kane. You know, what was the male group he had after Danny Kane that did the Making the Band thing? I forgot their name. Y'all know their name. All the different artists this man had, right? Now, Jeezy and Jadakiss got away from him, and they were successful, you know, because they was all in that Boys in the Hood, you know, with Jadakiss, Jeezy, and all them. They got away, but the majority of the artists that came underneath him didn't do well whatsoever. You have to think about your legacy. Like me, I always want to make sure I try to do people right because I don't want people having a bunch of negativity that's true. You know, people can say about me. You pay people like you're supposed to pay them. Do them right. Don't do them bad. Puffy should have got married a long time ago, but you know he was acting like a straight devil. But like I say, these rumors about him have been swirling around. So you know it makes me a little bit more inclined to believe what Cassie's saying because it's not like we haven't heard some weird stories about him before. Now, Cassie claimed that he violated her in September 2018 and that he forced his way into her apartment after dinner in Malibu, California. He said he allegedly tried to kiss her before forcibly removing her clothes and unbuckling his belt. That he proceeded to violate Miss Ventura while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. As they following the alleged incident, Cassie said she took steps to completely separate herself from a longtime abuser. She eventually left the home he paid for and returned the car he purchased for her. But Cassie says she suffers from some emotional distress from the immense trauma endured over a decade with Mr. Combs. Now, say a lawsuit and said that Diddy got Cassie high for the first time in September 2007 when he handed her an ecstasy pill. It stated that on one occasion, it said the pair were using drugs at his Los Angeles home when one of Diddy's security staff barged in and told him that his longtime rival, executive Suge Knight, was spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. He allegedly got dressed, received multiple guns from a safe, and ran out to find where Knight was. It said to be dining, leaving Cassie terrified and in tears. A lawsuit claims that Diddy used his money and power to orchestrate extensive efforts to hide the evidence of his abuse by forcing Cassie to hide in hotels for days and at a time to let her bruises heal. It alleged that he beat her repeatedly in an Escalade by kicking and hitting her following a party with Jay-Z. It said the lawsuit claims that in January 2009 that Diddy assaulted her after he found out she spoke to another music manager at a party in Los Angeles. In the car leaving the club, it said Mr. Combs beat Miss Ventura. It said pushing her into the corner of the vehicle and stomping on her face. It said Mr. Combs' security staff, Roger Bonds, tried to stop the beating, but was unable to de-escalate the situation. She is said to have been bleeding profusely and attempted to run away. They say before being ushered into Diddy's home, where she began to throw up. Now, say upon recognizing the damage he had done and the physical evidence of his abuse, they said Mr. Combs panicked and forced his staff to bring Miss Ventura to a hotel suite at the London Hotel in Los Angeles, where she was required to stay for a week. They said Cassie claims that she asked to go home to her parents, but she was not allowed to leave. So she lied to her mother when she asked her about an online gossip forum that reported on the alleged assault. She said that she was terrified, isolated, and unable to see a pathway out. Since all this is starting to come out, don't be surprised if more and more people start stepping up and suing him, and don't be shocked that we see a surviving Diddy.
Now let me pause it right there. See, let me reiterate something that I said at the beginning of the broadcast. I've told you, like I said, I have family members in the business that work security at high profile places and private security for people. And I know what I've seen working with them over the years. Understand that when you work security for these people, you see a lot. You see a lot. Okay. You see a lot of stuff that really let you know who these people are. You be like, oh yeah. See, look, let me tell you something, man. You got some people that have their own private security agencies that they won't even take certain clientele because they're involved in certain things. They know firsthand. They be like, oh, no, it's not even worth the money. No, trust me on that, because see, especially if it's something where there's an individual like Puffy, and I'm going to explain why he gets to get away with so much. Because see, a lot of people don't understand how he's able to do what he does. I'm going to break it down for you and it's going to make sense. A lot of people say, no, it's not even worth it, because if this gets violent or what have you, and people's lives get lost, we don't want nothing to do with it. It's more money to be made with less problems. But a lot of people probably wondering, well, how does he get away with so much? Well, let me tell you a little secret. When you see a lot of these black folks that get that type of wealth and they get up in the ranks and they're considered successful, a lot of the white people that are involved in putting them on, let me tell you a dirty little secret about the dominant society. They'll pick a Negro or a Negress, okay? They'll pick one to make a project. Now, what do I mean by make a project? Like, okay, now, if I can help this nigga get papered up, you know what I'm saying? And hey, I'm going to make him be a little clone, a dark-skinned clone version of me, as long as he or she is loyal to me. It's like, look, I know this sounds crazy, but it's like amusement to them. They're like, okay, yeah, see, if as long as you do what I need you to do, and yes, they have to do certain things, because I'm going to go in and see it right now. People can get mad if they want to. You really think Jeff Bezos just gave Van Jones $100 million for nothing? You got to be smoking industrial strength crack if you think that this wealthy white man just picked this Negro out of nowhere and he ain't have to do nothing for that. Listen, I'm going to leave that alone. Y'all got common sense. You know what I'm trying to tell you. But when it comes to these types of people, these high-powered white executives and CEOs, yeah, they'll pick one, a little flunky, until their little pet project goes rogue, or either they get tired of them, they say, hey, you know what? Yeah, you know too much, or I'm just tired of, I need a new one, okay? They get bored. See, that's what they don't understand. A lot of them that get up in them circles, they think they're actually friends with these people in dominant society. You do not understand the games that the wealthy play. See, let me put it to you this way, because I have to be careful what I say here on YouTube. For people that are in certain circles that have access to more money than most people would ever see, let me tell you something I know for a fact. They get bored with what their money is able to afford them. Because, see, we're talking about people that anything they want, they can have it. There's no such thing as they got to wait on nothing, okay? If they want it, they can get it. A lot of times, here's the kicker about it. Once you get your money to a certain point, and a lot of you in the chat room, Mike, can attest to this, you get a lot of stuff for free. You understand me? You get offered to be invited to get invitations for certain types of cards and certain types of apparel and things that you can get, especially in that industry. They send you stuff for free. All these types of fancy cars everybody keep talking about. Oh, yeah, a lot of them get that stuff shipped to them for free. You know why? Because the company wants that to be seen. They'll be like, hey, if so-and-so, okay, has that car and this is a high-profile name, that raises the image and advertising for us. You understand? See, a lot of y'all don't understand how unfair that is once you get to a certain level in life. a lot of stuff that people run around trying to pay for it is thrown at you for free. Okay, just because of who you are. So now in Cassie's case, she got addicted to that because see, think about it. Okay, you were with Kid Cudi. That was your chance not to go back right then. I don't care what he said. She wasn't broke at this point now. Okay. You should have went straight to law enforcement. But see what it was? She was thinking about, well, yeah, I do get to go on these trips. He's got me driving this. I'm staying here and there. He had us several places to stay. See, that's what it was. When you sell your soul, it's going to come back to bite you in your ass every time. So I'm just explaining it so that a lot of you can understand why a lot of that occurs for those of you that don't. Because I have a very intelligent audience over here, but I'm breaking it down firsthand from things that I know, okay, about those type of individuals, which is why for me, yeah, I got access to a lot of different circles. There's people in the chat room right now that know that for a fact, but there's some that I decline. I'm like, no, I'm cool. And see, let me go a step further as far as just me. I'm cool with a lot of people that are cool with other people in some of these circles. And I'm like, yeah, just because you cool with somebody that knows me don't mean I fuck with you. And I make that known to everybody. Like, hey, your boy over there or your homegirl, I don't rock with them. Don't bring them nowhere around me because of certain things that I know, okay? You better learn to move wisely out here, ladies and gentlemen, in life. Because, see, she's lucky to have gotten out of that with her life, okay? And who's to say that, you know, with all this stuff that she was engaging in, because you're not going to engage in all that stuff that was going unless you wanted to. Especially with the drugs and all that, you're not going to make me believe that she wasn't already into some of that. Because most normal women wouldn't want nothing to do with that, and you would never think about doing that. A lot of people don't understand that when it comes to diseases, a lot of things lie dormant, including that Jackie Chan. Oh, yes. You better look what I'm telling you. If there's any healthcare professionals in here, you understand what I'm telling you. Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Bruce Lee, whatever you want to call him, the big dog, the one that take you up out of here, oh, it has a dormancy period. Oh, yes. So just because you pass a test, that don't mean that person is clear and clean. You better do your homework on that if you want to be out here, okay? So, and I'm addressing this to the young women primarily that haven't gotten themselves in certain situations. Listen, live your life, have as much fun as you want to have, but you better be smart about that. I'm telling you, and I'm going to say it again in plain terms. If you misunderstand anything over in this broadcast tonight, it's going to be because you weren't trying to understand or just don't want to hear it, and life is going to have to teach you. Like I said, you got two ways you can learn to listen in life, the easy way or the hard way. You better start learning the easy way because sometimes that hard way might be your last way. You might not get another chance to learn. So a lot of these people that y'all be thinking you want to be up under, you better ask yourself, what is it going to cost me if I succeed? You understand me? Let it continue.
Be surprised because all this stuff, if this stuff is true, and every bit, even if it's half true, this dude going to jail, and he need to be there, straight up. Now, she continued to say she found herself being numb to the abuse she was experiencing and became entirely beholden to Mr. Combs' demands, according to the lawsuit. So she began to blindly follow his instructions out of fear of again being on the receiving end of his vicious beating. Now, Cassie, Miss Cassandra Ventura, was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbing demands. For Miss Ventura, they said the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and trafficking. So he lured Miss Ventura into a fast-paced, drug-fueled lifestyle and into a romantic relationship with him, her boss, one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry, and a vicious, cruel, and controlling man nearly 2 decades her senior. As Cassie claimed that throughout their relationship, as they was prone to uncontrollable rage, and he frequently beat her. So these beatings were witnessed by Mr. Combs' staff and employees of Bad Boys Entertainment and Mr. Combs' related businesses, but no one dared to speak up against their frightening and ferocious boss, according to the lawsuit. He often showered her with gifts following incidents of physical violence, a typical pattern of behavior by serial abusers. So adding insult to injury, Mr. Combs used illegal substances and threatened violence to force Miss Ventura into repeated unwanted encounters with male workers. It says she claimed that she tried to escape him multiple times, but would be found by Diddy's vast network of corporations and affiliate entities who told her to return to him. Cassie also said that although she fully escaped Diddy, the harm that the assaults and abuse, he caused her to experience for nearly a decade. is they will haunt her. So the lawsuit claimed that she required intensive medical and psychological care to recover from trauma she lived through. It says she is seeking unspecified damages. It said a lawsuit is brought under the Adult Survivors Act, which is a New York law allowing people to file claims even after the statute of limitations has run out. The suit said with the expiration of New York's Adult Survivors Act fast approaching, it became clear that this was an opportunity to speak up about the trauma I have experienced and that I will be recovering from the rest of my life. Now, Bill Brofman, Diddy's lawyer, said Mr. Combs denies these allegations. And they are extremely offensive to him. For the past 6 months, Mr. Combs has been subjected to Ms. Ventura's persistent demand of $30 million. Under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship, which was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail. Despite withdrawing her initial threat, Ms. Ventura has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies, aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday. But her attorney told the media that Mr. Combs offered Ms. Ventura 8 figures to silence her and prevent the filing of this lawsuit. She rejected his efforts and decided to give a voice to all women who suffer in silence. Ms. Ventura said she should be applauded for her bravery. Now, Diddy he also goes by the stage name Puff Daddy. He's, of course, worth an estimated $1 billion. After one of the star figures in the commercialization of hip hop in the 1990s. Now, he grew to be one of the generation's most notable music producers, working with people like Biggie and Mary J. Blige. He found Bad Boy, which, he signed Cassie in 2006. Now, Cassie has since married Alex Fine, and they have 2 children together. She was swept up in his luxurious lifestyle and reaped the benefits of having her debut album released under his label. Now, Diddy, is no stranger to lawsuits, but they often are surrounding his alcohol brands. In May of this year, he sued spirits company Diego, claiming his vodka and tequila brands didn't receive promised investments, while being treated as inferior urban products. It's a lawsuit filed by Combs Wine and Spirits in New York Supreme Court in Manhattan alleged that Diego North America starved Combs Ciroc vodka and De Leon tequila brands resources, even as it showered attention on the other celebrity brands. Diego brought actor George Clooney's Casamigos tequila brand for $1 billion in 2017. Diddy said Diego relationship told him his race was one of the reasons it limited distribution to urban neighborhoods. He continued to say that he was also told that some Diego leaders resented him for making too much money, according to the lawsuit. But this is the thing, with this lawsuit, which is very, very shocking. The details of this is very shocking. But once again, if it's completely true, if it's half true, he going to do some jail time, because all that stuff through there is criminal charges. And she didn't want to take no money from you. Now, you said she wanted $30 million and she's trying to blackmail you. Blackmail is a crime. So if it was truly blackmail, Puffy, why didn't you call law enforcement? Why you didn't get?
Excellent point Phil just made right there. See, neither of them are innocent on either side of this, Cassie or Puffy. Because like you said, if somebody's trying to blackmail you, you got proof of that? Okay, and look, if you got that type of money, when it comes to making sure that you got that evidence, whether it's video, audio, or whatever, you should be on top of that 100%. So if that's what the case was, hey, man, you wouldn't have had nothing to worry about. That lets you know it wasn't blackmail. It was the truth. Okay? It was the truth. And see, as regarding her turning down them 8 figures, now what it was, she thought she was going to get more than that. So, and her lawyers got in her ear like, nah, you can get this, you can get that. And then we see how it played out, because let's be clear, there's nowhere online that discloses the exact amount that the settlement was for. But for those of us that have seen these things over the years and reported on that, it's never the exact amount that somebody's suing for. The reason they'll set that number that way, as high as they can get it in a lawsuit, okay, is because it's just like when you're negotiating your salary. You start high and then whatever is in, you negotiate your way down. So she probably got at least half. And no more than that. It's not more than 30 million, ain't no 100 million or none of that shit. No, that's not even realistic. That's not how that works. So it's probably around between 10 and 15 million. But see, let's go back to some things that were mentioned here. ask yourself this question, and I hadn't heard nobody else bring this up. In the lawsuit, when she was talking about she finally escaped from him, okay, well, whatever this process was that you did to get off money, you mean to tell me you couldn't have did that before it got this bad? And it's years down the line where somebody's got you stretched out for days at a time, just violating you according to her. Come on now. So I'm saying the things over here to try to get people to think about these things. That makes no sense whatsoever. But y'all ain't heard nothing yet. We got more to cover here. Let's get back to it.
Them involved, because people get arrested for blackmail. They do. Then they said that you asked, you was willing to settle with her and silence her with a certain amount of money. She didn't want that. So now she filed this lawsuit. So if that's the case, then it's like this, Puffy. If you did this, you better settle. You better, whatever that woman wants, you better give it to her. Whatever it is. If it's half true, you better settle. Because this stuff right here, and I know some people are like, well, if he settled, then that means he did something. People settle not a lot of times not to go to trial. Some because at trial, you can get hit with more money versus if you settle. So it's not all the time a person's guilty. They just don't want to go to trial. They don't want a judgment on their record. Some businesses do that where they don't really want a trial and a judgment on their record. So they'll say, well, let's, settle for an undisclosed amount, but we settling, but you got to sign basically an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. The terms of the settlement can't be spoken about. You can't talk about it to nobody. You got to shut your mouth, be quiet. That's what happens in a lot of them police lawsuits. They get paid, but then they make them sign NDAs where they can't talk about it. They can't say nothing about the police one. They can't talk about the terms. They can't say anything, but they got their checks.
Now let me pause it right quick and interject something just for the edification of my audience. That's exactly right. And a lot of these police payout settlements, whatever, they make them sign non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, so they can't talk about it. But in regards to these celebrities that a lot of these groupies go and link up when they make them sign an NDA, an NDA covers everything except for criminal activity, okay? Everything except for criminal activity. You can hide something embarrassing. Okay, hey, look, you can't talk about this at third, but if it's any type of criminal activity, oh no, that does not cover that. If you don't believe me, look at what happened with Donald Trump, okay? Yeah, so that's the limitation on an NDA. Don't think that that's ironclad. For anybody, I'll just get an NDA. Oh, no, you better understand the laws like I always tell you to do over here on this channel, okay? So I just want to interject that part right there. Brother Phil is spot on about everything else he's saying, though. Let's let it continue.
So, but you know what? Like I said, if it's true or even if it's half true, Puffy getting what he deserved. All the stuff he done to people for years. This is the same guy, and we won't go to politics, that was talking about vote or die. Remember he kept promoting that mess? Puffy, another big Democrat, because that's exactly who he was promoting. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Puffy is that's quite sick. In my opinion, it's quite sick because that couldn't be my daughter, because if I caught wind of that, I go to jail behind mine. You put your hands on her? Oh, no. I got to come see you, partner. I got to come see you. You ain't going to be parading my child around, doing my child like that. That woman could have caught some, bad disease. She could have caught HIV. There's all kind of things that could have happened. And then all these workers that they're talking about. You imagine, they bring Discovery and they try to see if they can find all these workers to testify, people at the hotels to testify. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. I mean, I would love for this case to go to trial so we can really find out what's going on. A lot of these people are just sickos, man.
Now let me pause it right here because let me interject and point out something very important, okay? Because I know in American society today, what's being promoted is the opposite of what I'm about to say. But see, here's the importance of a father again, because like Brother Phil said, he's got daughters. And you heard what that man said. And look, if I had children, I'm right there with Phil. I'm like, no. It's certain things. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to hear it. But also, I would make sure I raise and train my daughter not to be enamored by these types of things. Okay, because see, let me tell y'all something. When it comes to this abuse thing, this is what my father told me a long time ago. No matter what kind of situation you in with somebody, if it don't work out, y'all can't get along, you send that person back to their family just like they came to you in good health. Because no matter whether you hate their guts, they've got somebody that loves and cares about them. So you go back to your family in good health, let them go back to their family in good health, okay? But see, today, that's too much like right. And see, when there's no father present to hold things down and to properly educate his children, especially a young girl, on what you do and don't do. Because see, I guarantee you, that was her dream, to be a singer, this, that, the third. And then once she got the opportunity to get in certain circles and got around him, she just, well, I'll just keep putting over this, that, the third and do whatever. And I wouldn't be surprised if her mother was egging her on to stay in the situation. I mean, look, it's just my conjecture. I can't say that for certain, but I wouldn't be surprised that come out. But I'm going to tell you something else that's not going to surprise me either. Don't be surprised if a lot of these people connected to this start having accidents, huh? I'm going to say it again. Don't be surprised if a lot of people that's connected to this start having accidents, because see, she got that bag from him, but I guarantee you it's not over yet, because the rest of them, they going to come forward too. They looking at her like, you ain't going to be the only one to get paid off this Negro. They hunting. Gloria already is knocking on their door as we speak. You guarantee you that, okay? Oh, this is going to get ugly. Because see, all you got to do is look at other things he's been involved in over the years, and look what happened. People mysteriously going into comas, people catching pneumonia and not waking up. I mean, come on, man. It's only so much coincidence in this world, okay? For those of us with common sense. Just keep your eye on certain things. Time is the great revealer of all things. But I just wanted to throw that part in there about fathers, okay? And if you are a black father, stay in your child's life. Try to form families. Don't just be out here having kids with any and everybody that you can't make it with. Because I'm going to say it. Not enough people say this about black fathers and black men. You are your family's superhero. You're supposed to be. That is your job, okay? You can't do that if you're not there and you're not in your child's life. And the world will swallow them whole, and you'll have your daughter or son in a situation like what Cassie went through, though. Let's let it continue.
Make your music, have fun, get your money, and go home. Why you got to do all that? Why you got to be on some drugs? Listen, I don't even want to be around people that use no drugs. Because first of all, that's illegal. And I'm a black man. I know when I'm around you doing it and they catch you, the police gonna get me too. And I ain't done nothing. But just I'm blacking around you, I'm gonna get it. It's a nah, I'm good. But all these drug heads and pill heads, like, but if that's what all happened, and then Keefe D has said that Puffy had paid somebody $1 million, to do that to Tupac. Well, shoot, eventually the pendulum gonna swing your way. You're not gonna get away with things forever. But let me know what y'all think about the situation with Puffy. Like I said, of course, we have to say alleged because it haven't went to court yet. But this is extremely very detailed. It's very sick, and we know all the people that were surrounding him died. Andre Harrell dead. You understand what I'm saying? Kim Porter dead. Heavy D dead. And these men had these alleged heart attacks, right? But then they were saying these men was writing tell-all books at the time. Al B. Sure ended up getting in a coma when he wanted to do a story about his life, which it would involve him too. It's very, very interesting. Well, let me know what y'all think. I know y'all gonna have y'all detective hats on with these stories and a lot. And I know it's been so many things about him out here, but yeah. Puffy gonna be sitting in the cell right next to R. Kelly. If all this true, like I said, this is some straight up criminal behavior.
All right, so now you heard Brother Phil's take on it, but let me further go into detail about something that a lot of people may not understand about these types of individuals when it comes to all these drugs. Let me tell you something. A lot of them, y'all don't understand that the phrase everything that glitters is not gold. That is very true in life. A lot of them that you look at on the outside looking in, you think, oh, they got a great life. Oh, boy, I wish I was with them. I wish I could be them. Let me tell you something. A lot of them, no, you don't. No, you don't. The reason why a lot of them have so many drug habits and all kinds of stuff be going on with them. Imagine you doing something so degrading to get where you are, and you got to do this repeatedly now, no matter what it is. Yeah, you got your money, you got your fame, you got this perceived image to all the rest of the public that don't know nothing about living this type of life, but it's costing you. And see, as a human being, that wears you down. So they have to take drugs just to feel somewhat sane. Here's another secret that y'all don't understand. You young women better pay attention to me. If they were made to suffer by the people, their white handlers that view them as little pet projects, like I said earlier in the broadcast, if they're made to suffer, they look at it like, okay, I'm not powerful enough to do nothing to this white man or white woman above me, but I can do something to your little starstruck black ass or whatever color. And now let me pass this suffering down to you. Do you understand me? That's exactly what happens. You better take a good look at this picture right here, because see, the average person, it's bad in our community. You look up to these damn celebrities. You damn near worship them. A lot of people. Now, most people in this chat room should have sense enough not to, but some may. Look up to them, you worship them. That's the reason why shows like Love and Hip Hop and all this other garbage and brain rot that they put on TV can do so well, because celebrities are placed on an undue pedestal, especially if they don't do shit for our people. What you worshiping somebody like that for, huh? But see, you better start to think twice about the type of lives they're really living, okay? So again, you got two devils up here, and I'm going to explain why, in case anybody's confused on why I'm saying both of them are devils. Diddy, for the obvious stuff that it's alleged that he's done, and her little old selfish ass, because if all of that was done to you, bitch, again, what about protecting other people, huh? Don't you think you should get that trash off the street? A sexual predator and a degenerate, if that's exactly what he did, allegedly. But no, as long as you good, though, the hell with all y'all. See, when you jump on that bandwagon talking about the sisterhood, you better start looking at how disloyal some of these helpers are. Because look, I saw a lot of women, you come out the gate, oh, you riding hard for a lot of women was. But then as soon as she's straight, leave you hanging. Sound familiar? Let's just go here with it. Different situation. Look at Kamala Harris. Huh? Oh, yeah, the ski-wee skank. Flat back her way to the top of her political career as soon as she got what she wanted. Do you think she really give a damn about black women in this country? Huh? You better start looking at a lot of these people, man. You can even point towards Marilyn Mosby. You see what they've done with her. Okay? Start looking at some of these. I'm just saying on the women's aspect, because it applies to the men as well, but we dealing with the women, okay? Start looking at some of these chicks that a lot of y'all be riding for, and start to look at, do they really have your back? Huh? Because trust me, she good now. Oh, you ain't gonna never hear nothing else about that, because boy, I guarantee you, the paperwork that was signed about that. But see, I'm gonna say something, and I hope this doesn't happen. Let me point out something else that I hadn't heard nobody cover, and I'm talking to you from real life. See, forget all that looking up the people and all this other speculation and stuff. Let me point out something that's real. Y'all better pay attention to this. Keep in mind what I told you about the psyche of people that have that kind of wealth. They don't like to lose anything, okay? They don't like to lose. Understand this. People like that are very vindictive. Do you understand me? They're very vindictive to the point they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, you got this bag. I had to take this ill, but I'm gonna make sure that you have a short lifespan too. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I'm not telling you what I think, what I'm guessing on. I'm telling you what I know about how these people move out here. Because they definitely try to emulate their white paymasters above them. They want to live that exact lifestyle and have the type of power where if somebody crossed them, hey, they can make sure you have an accident and get you up out of here. She better be very, very careful, because see, what looks like a victory, no. And again, I hope that don't happen. I hope it don't happen, but you see this man has a history like Brother Phil was talking about. People, mysterious things happening to all these people that were either cross with him or fell out with him, and then where they at now? Okay? So for anybody that's stupid enough to think, well, she did get a bag, okay? You better start keeping in mind what that's going to cost her. But see, we're not done yet. Oh, no, we're going to get deeper into this thing here. We're going to cover some more things from a different source here, and it's going to really go into detail about how graphic some of this stuff she alleged that he did was. Let's get into it.
Diddy's history of abuse on prior girlfriends has been well documented.
He had caught me texting another man. We was in Miami. It got really crazy that time. We was upstairs and he had like, we were in his closet and he like pushed me and I fell to the ground and then he like stood over me. So I was like laying on my back and he stood over me and he started like punching me like this. Like he avoided my face, but he like started punching me like on the side of my head and I was just like covering my face. And then after he got done doing that, he like stomped on my stomach like really hard and I like took the wind out of my breath. I couldn't breathe and he kept hitting me and I was like pleading to him like, can you stop? I can't breathe. And he like stopped for a little bit. He like grabbed my hair from the back and like was like punching the back of my head.
His own personal bodyguard, now top op, would even admit that Diddy put hands on his first baby mama, Misa Hilton. Now, he put hands on her because he believed that she was dealing with another artist.
Well, Misa was out there. She was messing with the dude from EPMD. That's why Puff first beat her ass. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
No, you fine.
To get back to the story, is that she thought Puff was messing around. I guess like she started talking to the dude from EPMD. He came to see her, and Puff beat up till she got up beat her literally till she tried to run up under the car.
There's also accounts of Diddy putting his hands on his late baby mama, Kim Porter.
It's an incident that him and Kim had when she took the corkscrew when they were fighting, and ripped his whole wrist up. That's what helped Puff. That's how Puff got on drugs. You understand? Those painkillers. Because Kim wasn't taking it from him.
With this well-documented history of abuse, I have no reason to believe his relationship with Cassie was any different.
Yes.
The controversy.
Yeah.
Diddy and Cassie met in 2005 after he heard her single while in the club. He asked the DJ, yo, whose song is this? They told him who the person was and he asked to meet the person. Now, Diddy would eventually meet Cassie in 2005, shortly after hearing her song in the club. Now, 10 months later, Cassie was signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Records. A 10-album deal is nuts. I don't care what era this is, bruh. A 10-album deal is like signing your life away. But Diddy is known for predatory record deals. That's how he made a lot of his money. Now, Cassie at the time was 19 years old and Diddy was 37 years old. And even though Cassie was his artist, it didn't deter Diddy from getting inappropriate with Cassie. In November 2006, while getting ready for the MTV European Music Award, because Cassie was set to perform with Diddy. Now, at this time, Cassie was 21 years old and Diddy was, I believe, 39 years old. So while getting ready to perform, her makeup artist was doing her makeup. Now, the makeup artist was Diddy's personal makeup artist. So Diddy instructed the makeup artist to alert Cassie that he was interested in her. When told by the makeup artist that Diddy was interested in her romantically, Cassie was completely grossed out by the idea. She looked at Diddy like an old man because he was almost 20 years older than Cassie. He was Cassie's artist, and Cassie also had a boyfriend and didn't really look at Diddy like that. But Diddy didn't take no for an answer. You see, on Cassie's 21st birthday in Vegas, Diddy invited himself to her birthday party in Vegas. Now, while at the birthday party with Cassie and her friends, Diddy pulled Cassie into the bathroom and forcibly kissed her. She was horrified. She had a boyfriend, so she felt like it was cheating. Diddy was...
Let me pause the brother Poetic Flacco right there. Cap, industrial strength cap, bullshit. Nope. I'm finna debunk it right now. And shout out to the good brother Flacco there, but he's just reporting what's been said. But I'm finna break this down, man. Listen, now the boyfriend at the time was Ryan Leslie. Okay, no, she wanted that to happen because if you was at that party and you didn't want him in, you could have had security put a stop to that, huh? No. See, I don't turn my brain off, and then on top of that, after that happened, okay. He forced himself on you. Let's just say, just disregard that part. Let's just say she did have security. He made his way past her somehow, or they just let him in, or he paid him. Let's go there. If this is the first time that he forced himself on you, how did you end up in a 10-year situationship with him? All because of what you chose to do, what you wanted to do, talking about chasing a damn record deal. Let me tell you somebody I got a lot of respect for. This is going to shock a lot of y'all, but I give this brother his props on this because he did his own thing. No matter what you think of him, he ain't had to go through none of this. You know, an artist that I have a lot of respect for because of the way he chose not to get caught up in these types of situations by selling his soul to these damn record labels. Y'all gonna laugh when I say this, but let me tell you something. That's one right there today. He's papered up. The artist Lil B. Yeah, I said it. Yep, that Lil B. Yep, Lil B. He did his own thing and put out his own music. He ain't really signed no long-term record contracts like that. Right now, to this day, do you know he toured overseas getting big bags without having to be in no 360 deals or up under nobody's thumb? You understand me? Now, if she had enough faith in herself and was willing to put the work in, she could have got it popping on her own or hooked up with decent people that would have helped her out and show her the game. But nope, you wanted to be up under Puffy with all that status and all this wealth and all the little stuff that had going on. And yeah, you did. Yeah, look, let me tell you something, man. In that situation, because this sounds like that was the beginning of it, she had a choice not to get involved with him. You understand? It ain't like he put a gun to her head and made her do a damn thing. No, you looked at him as an upgrade from Ryan Leslie and you hopped your little ass into his space. And look, you got what you asked for. You sell your soul. When dealing with the devil is going to collect his due. So I just want to go ahead and debunk that, but we're going to let it continue.
Her record label owner, so she didn't know how to react and what to do. So she confided in her best friend, whose account of what happened was Cassie ran out to her and started crying, breaking down and letting her know what happened. Cassie felt powerless because Diddy has so much control over her career. She didn't know what to do. Like, do she turn Diddy in and ruin her chance at being a star? So she kept on seeing Diddy. In the fall of 2007, there was an occurrence where Diddy wanted to hang out with Cassie, so she obliged and got into his vehicle. Now, when she got into his vehicle, Diddy handed her a pill. Now, she didn't know what the pill was and didn't want to take anything, but Diddy insisted to take the pill. And he kept on insisting until she finally took it. She would later find out the pill was ecstasy. That's just an example of how Diddy was crossing lines and just throwing red flags out there really early on into their interaction. About a month later, Diddy would invite Cassie to come to Miami with him. Cassie would alert Diddy that she has a boyfriend and couldn't really find an excuse to give her boyfriend to come to Miami, so she couldn't come. But Diddy demanded that she come, and Diddy even went as far as to conjure up a plan to get her boyfriend not to worry. He created a fake flyer, alerted Cassie, yo, give him this flyer and let him know that you got booked for an event in Miami, so you have to come. So Cassie, being reluctant, she went to Miami. And it was during this trip where Diddy and Cassie had intercourse and began some form of an intimate relationship. That day will mark the beginning of a 10-year nightmare for Cassie. Today, Cassie filed a $30 million lawsuit against Diddy where she documents in great length the abuse that she took at the hands of Diddy. One night in New York City, after a Jay-Z party, Diddy didn't like how Cassie was carrying herself during the Jay-Z party. So when it got back into his Escalade, he began to beat her and kick her and just outright violate her. He wouldn't stop. Now, apparently he got sick and tired of beating her, so he stopped the car in the middle of Fifth Avenue and kicked her out to fend for herself and drove off. Cassie hid in her apartment for 3 days because she was terrified. But eventually she went back to Diddy because she felt helpless. But the abuse didn't stop that night.
Let me pause it right there. Remember what I told you about people with that type of wealth. If you sit there and start, putting yourself in a position where they're lavishing things on you, they feel like they own you. You're an object, not a human being. Okay, this is why he beat her ass like that. Okay, and then listen to what was stated. She went back to that situation. Let me tell you ladies something right now. I'm talking basically to the younger ladies. I'm not talking to the older ladies. If y'all silly enough to do something like that, it ain't no hope for a lot of y'all hard-headed asses. Talking to the younger sisters that's listening to the sound of my voice that are probably in their prime and have the opportunity, because let's be honest, if you younger than your prime and you in certain places, you got the opportunity to be one of these groupies and get around these people. Let me tell you something. Nothing on this planet should be worth your physical health and well-being, okay? When she was in that situation, you see what he done did to you, why you didn't do everything in your power to go to law enforcement. Notice that's never mentioned about going to the police or anywhere. If you felt like where you were, he was too connected with them folks, and he ain't got that kind of power, trust me. He influenced one or two people, but not an entire police department. You could have went somewhere else, okay? Because you ain't broke at this point. You got your own bread. That's different if you're in a situation where you don't have no family, no money or whatever to get out of that situation. That's a completely different scenario. This is not what she was going through, okay? Not what she was going through at all. All this stuff that she's alleging that he did, but you keep hearing over and over, she went back. She went back. Why? Because she was addicted to that type of lifestyle, and that's the price she was willing to pay for it. Let it continue.
January 2009, while at a party in LA, Cassie was seen talking to an unidentified music manager. Diddy seen her talking to the music manager, and he literally grabbed her and dragged her out the party in front of witnesses. Now, when they got out the party, he threw her inside of the vehicle and began to beat her up, kicking her. The worst he's ever beaten Cassie ever.
Let me take the time to point something else out to my younger female audience. Let me tell you something. Pay attention to what Poet Flacco just said about there were witnesses when he grabbed and dragged her out, allegedly, okay? One thing you better understand about circles of people like that, everybody around them knows who they really are, because keep in mind what I said, the people that hang out, the degenerates like that, all of them got dirt on each other, so they all know what each other are like. You don't have no protection in that situation because everybody's like, yeah, okay, that's what he or she do. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody gonna speak up for you because, hey, if they try it, they're like, hey, I know he got this dirt on me when I was back here, you know, doing these lines of cocaine and, you know, with so-and-so wife or whatever the case may be, they all got dirt on each other. So if you thinking, well, if I'm with him around a bunch of people, you better stop and ask yourself, what kind of people are you around? Are these people in the same circle that have similar things going on? Because see, just like the old saying goes, there's a lot of wisdom in older things that you've heard people say. Birds of a feather flock together. You understand me? Birds of a feather flock together. This is why a lot of times when it comes to things that brothers are saying, like, hey, look, if you got a bunch of whorish friends and you claim that you're not like that, well, then hell, if you with them, you eventually going to either get caught up in what they doing or it's going to be perceived that you just like them, okay? When it comes to men, if you not really no street dude, you ain't about that life like that, but you trying to hang with people that are, okay, when they ops come for them and you kicking it around them, okay, you gonna get the same thing they get. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to point that part out about a lot of them, because you know, a lot of y'all in that younger demographic, you think you so much smarter than everybody else. Well, I'll just hang out with a bunch of people. What kind of people are they that you hanging around? Do not be no little young, naive fool. You better listen to what I'm trying to teach you over here. I get it. Some of y'all don't have fathers to game you up like this. I'm doing what a lot of these other broadcasts that cover this did not do. I'm talking to you from a realistic, real life point of view, hoping that I can get through to somebody that's considering trying to put themselves in this type of situation and looking at how it went for her, thinking that you're going to be next. Okay. Just know that a lot of people don't make it out alive. You better go back and look at what happened when Gary Condit had his little side piece, Chandra Lever. Everybody know how that turned out. If you don't, go do your research on it. Let it continue.
Beating her the entire car ride and didn't stop, even while she was profusely bleeding. He didn't stop until they arrived at their destination, in which they had to open up the vehicle and go inside the building. So when they arrived and the car door opened, Cassie hopped out and tried to run. Diddy chased her down, beat her up some more, dragged her back into his residence. Once he stopped beating up Cassie, he realized that she was unrecognizable and that he couldn't just let her go back in public like this or go back to her place and risk being seen by family members and friends. So Diddy put Cassie in a hotel for weeks with a security guard and a bodyguard until she.
You know what? Salute to my good sister Netta J that joined the building. I saw something she said that's very important. I'll go ahead and confirm that. Because, you know, that brother don't mind people saying what the truth is. You're right. That's why Nas don't really be around a lot of folks like that. See, let me tell you something. The smarter black people that's in these industries, a lot of them, I remember Fact of Business while we talking about Bad Boy and these situations here with Diddy, the things that's alleged he done. Remember the singer Carl Thomas, I think it was. I remember an interview I saw long ago when people were asking him about, you know, he was new on the scene and what he liked to do, whatever. He said, listen, man, I do my shows and I go home. I don't hang out with Puff and all the other stuff. That's not my thing. That's not what I'm here for. Notice you ain't really heard nothing about him being involved in nothing crazy. So yeah, the brother Nas is similar. Nas be like, look, man, I see what y'all got going on. I can't control what grown people do. I'm going to make sure I'm not caught up in it. For the most part, you don't really hear about Nas being in none of this crazy shit like that, okay? Because, see, they know, these circles that I'm talking about, these people know who each other are. They know what they got going on. It's just kind of like, okay, hey, that's what they do. I'm going to mind my business. You know, especially these people are connected in ways that they could hurt me. So they don't really just go around outing them like that, okay? Some of them are not in position to because they see what type of connection that some of these people have. And then you have brothers like 50 Cent that are on an equal playing field. Be like, hey, nigga, whatever you want to do, we can get down. I can do the same thing you could do to me. Okay, so that's why you see others like 50 basically trolling people like Puffy. They're like, yeah, you ain't gonna really be able to do me like you do to other people. I got just as much paper as you. Okay, so that's the long and the short of it. I'm glad you pointed that out, sister. But yeah, Nas, man, like if you ever meet that brother in real life, humble, cool brother, good dude, man. But man, he just mind his business and stay out the middle of all that drama because after you've spent so many years in the game, you see what everything is. You're not naive. That's another thing too. Before we get back to this, the rookies that's coming in that don't know nothing about nothing, those are the ones that are most vulnerable. You see what I'm saying? Because see, like, you know, very few of them have good people that have been in the game, been experienced, and say, hey, young buck, come over here. Hold on, let me holler at you. These folks over here, no. That ain't what you want. Just focus on doing your thing, your music or whatever. Avoid this crowd. And then again, you have some that are told by the OGs that know things. And then, hey, they think they're so much smarter. So they get that first little hefty bag. Or you can't tell me nothing. Okay. A hard head makes a soft ass. Let it continue.
Properly healed up. Now, here's the thing. He dragged her out the party where there were witnesses who spoke to the tabloids about it. And when the tabloids published a story about it, Cassie's mother called Diddy, in which Diddy denied it and said it was just a rumor and people were lying. Cassie didn't tell her mom because she didn't really want to concern her mom about her well-being. In 2011, when Cassie and Diddy had a rough patch in their relationship, she had a brief fling with Kid Cudi. Diddy found out about the fling that Cassie had with Kid Cudi by going through her phone. And when he found out, he took a pocket screw, put it between his knuckles, and charged at her with it. Diddy assaulted Cassie before she even had the chance to explain herself. He was so enraged, like he just blacked out and wouldn't stop beating her up. Cassie got beaten for what she felt like was hours. Eventually, she was able to escape and went and spent the night at Kid Cudi house. She would leave Kid Cudi house and go back home to her mom in Connecticut, where her parents took pictures of her bruises. After being hounded by Diddy with texts and calls for weeks, Cassie went back to Diddy. Now, she felt as if she had to give in because she felt powerless. Diddy had control of her entire career and life. So when they got back together, things were good for a while. They even went to Fashion Week together in Paris. But while in Fashion Week, Diddy made it perfectly clear to Cassie that he hadn't forgiven Kid Cudi and her for doing what they did, and he was going to teach Kid Cudi a lesson. Diddy alerted Cassie that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car at his house, and he was going to do it while Kid Cudi and his friends were home. Cassie thought Diddy was just talking and she was crazy until right around that time, Kid Cudi's car blew up in his driveway. Really early on into their relationship, Diddy would alert Cassie that it was a fantasy of his to see her take another dick. Now, while reluctant at first, she gave in to please Diddy's fantasies. Diddy would begin living out his cuckold fantasies with Cassie by hiring a male escort for their initial cuckold session. he hired a male escort. He instructed everybody to wear masks. And he instructed Cassie to first go down on the male escort. Now, as she went down on him, he began to masturbate and then instruct her and him to do different sex acts that he wanted to see. Diddy became so addicted to these cuckold sessions that he demanded they do it weekly. Diddy was getting obsessed with this. Now, eventually after the first session, he left it up to Cassie to hire the escort and pick the guy. He just gave her one instruction. When she's finding an escort on these sites, he wanted her to type in big black penis. Cassie would say she had really bad anxiety before these sessions because she didn't really want to do it and she was only doing it to please Diddy and she felt dirty. But Diddy was aware of her really
Bullshit. No, she didn't, because you wouldn't have been able to do that for no 10 plus years if you feel so bad about it. No. See, let me reiterate this one more time in case somebody's just coming in and they don't understand why certain people with wealth operate that way. They don't look at the world the same way as other people that are not up there in their tax bracket see it. The way they look at it, and they get this from the dominant society, but you have some Negroes that reach a certain amount of wealth that operate like this as well. They look at everybody else around them that's not in that tax bracket as like puppets on a string. They're like, hey, I can make you do X, Y, Z, either because I can pay you to do it, or I know that you're going to do what I ask anyway because you want to be in my good graces because of who I am. You see what I'm saying? See, where you go wrong at when you start looking at money as anything other than a tool, okay? That's all it is. It doesn't make you better than the next person. And when you start worshiping money, like the Bible says, it's the love of money, not money itself. The love of money, that's the root of all evil. When you start selling your soul and willing to do anything, you know, these people that, oh, for the right price, I would. Because see, you got some people out here, I know y'all probably seen it. You got some people saying, well, for the right price, I would have let him. Yeah, I'm like, you sick bastard, you better start paying attention to the people that say that around you. Because see, a lot of y'all probably think people that talk like that are joking. No, they're not. They're dead ass serious. If they would do anything for money. You got, look, let's go here. Remember the situation with the restaurant franchise or Sweetie Pies, all that? Y'all remember that case? Huh? Family members paid to kill your own family over some crumbs that you were going to make in the business anyway that was already successful. You understand me? You better watch these people that's making these comments talking about what they would do if they had access to this type of money. It shouldn't be no money worth your well-being, your health, your safety, your integrity, your reputation. Okay? Y'all better pay attention to that. We're going to let it continue.
bad anxiety before each session, and he would give her a bunch of gifts to compensate her for engaging in a sex act with the male escort while he watched. Diddy would call these cuckold sessions freak-offs, and he would give Cassie money and gifts before each session. And because she was essentially being compensated to have sex with this male escort, she felt as if she was being sex trafficked. Now, Diddy was so addicted to these freak-offs that he wanted it whenever he wanted it, and he didn't want to wait for it. And this will cause some real tension in 2015 when Cassie was in the middle of a surprise birthday party her friends threw for her. Now, Diddy hit her up to leave the birthday party and come do a freak-off with him with a male escort, and she said, no, my friends threw me a surprise birthday party, I'm gonna stay. So when she stayed, Diddy couldn't take no for an answer.
Now watch this. You heard that, right? If he called her to engage in that yet again, and you really didn't want to partake in it, know what her next call was supposed to be to, family? Somebody tell me in the chat. Because I know I have a very intelligent audience. What was her next phone call supposed to be to? If she was just so afraid, oh, he finna come get me, who was she supposed to contact next? Hint, it's never mentioned in that lawsuit, all the stuff she described. Never once did I see anything about her calling. Come on now. Somebody, there you go. Native Jill Smith, law enforcement. You could have had them waiting there to deal with that. Yeah, y'all noticed that? See, that's one thing a lot of people keep glossing over. At no point in time did she contact law enforcement. Somebody doing this type of harm to you, okay? Beating you up, making threats, forcing you to do all this stuff. You see what I'm saying? See, I have to drill that home So that the women in here, I understand, again, we take that very seriously over here. Anybody familiar with my content, you know I'm hell on any type of sexual predator, male or female, okay? But you better start looking at when these people come out with these stories, you better start questioning things and be like, wait, that don't make sense. Because that's the first thing that's supposed to be done if something is official. Try to get in contact with some type of law enforcement or get your family to do it. None of this was, the preventative measures is what I'm saying, was never mentioned by her. And she never did really describe how you finally got away from it. No, we know what that was. Finally got away was just like, okay, he's through with me now. I'm not going to get what I want no more. Okay, I got something for you. Yeah, and see, the only reason she came out and did this was because somebody, I believe, can't prove it, but I believe somebody went and told Zaddy what was really going on. And see, let's just say if that's the case. If that's the case, chances are it's probably somebody she pissed off. Like, yeah, I never liked that bitch anyway. Oh, you think you finna stroll off into the sunset and get married? Let me go ahead and tell you, Zaddy, how you really get down. Huh? Because see, even though she got this money, you know what she's never gonna get back? The damage done to her reputation now. Let me tell you something. She better hope that it work out with Zaddy, because the way men see it, this is the part y'all women better pay attention to, the way men see it, nobody trying to follow up behind that. She's tainted. Now your homosexual class will be trying to get at her if that don't work out with her and Zaddy. But to those of us men with some type of, like, oh, no, nah, helper. Because you participated in that willingly. There's no way you couldn't have. Not for no 10 years. The only way that would be believable is this was a small child dependent on other people for their protection. Now then, okay, yeah, none of us would be questioning none of that. A small minor. I'm talking about 10, 12, 14, 15, something like that. Small minor. That's dependent upon adults. You can't get any type of place to stay for yourself out here in the real world. You wouldn't hear me question none of that. Okay? But this is not what occurred here. She got exactly what she bargained for. And like I said, man, if it don't work out with Zaddy, I don't know who else she think coming behind that. Because I'm going to tell y'all something again. A lot of ladies don't understand this. Men do not give a damn about your money. Most men worth a damn. Let me clarify that. Men worth a damn don't give a damn about how much money you got. Okay? That is not how we look at women. That's not what we look at women for. Okay? I'm just telling you. Like I said, people don't have to believe me. Life will teach you. Let's get back to it.
So Diddy came to the birthday party, invited himself, and pulled her out the birthday party and dragged her to a hotel and made her have a freak off with a male escort. In 2015, Cassie and Diddy were at a party in a Las Vegas hotel. Now, while at that party, Cassie was seen talking to another popular music manager. Diddy, threw a fit of rage, got incredibly upset, and pulled Cassie into a bedroom adjoining to the hotel that they were having a party in. Now, while in the bedroom, Diddy beat Cassie viciously. He beat her viciously until she was crying out for help, but her screams and cries was drowned out by the loud music. Now, Diddy beat Cassie so bad that when they left the bedroom and they eventually met up with Diddy's assistant and Diddy's security guard, the security guard and the assistant almost shed a tear for Cassie.
About time for me, because I've been shooting movies for the past year, so I kind of took a break from the music.
In 2015, while filming a movie in South Africa, and already checked out of her relationship with Diddy, Cassie began a brief fling with her co-star Kenny Wormland. Now, when Diddy got wind of this, because Cassie spent the New Year's Eve with Kenny, Diddy got wind of this and became irate. So what did Diddy do? Well, Diddy found Kenny Wormland's number, gave him a call, and threatened him to leave Cassie alone. Damn near harassing these folks. Kenny would give Cassie a call and let him know that she needs to call Diddy and figure something out. It wouldn't be until
Now, I'll bring this back up one more time because I want this lesson to stick before this broadcast ends. Remember what I told you about people with that kind of wealth thinking that they own people once they start accepting things from them. Okay, regardless of where she was and who she was with. And see, if you doubt what I'm saying is true about Puffy in particular, go back and listen to how he keep talking about Cassie, how he was obsessed with that woman. Doesn't that tell you that he thought, hey, listen, I own you, bitch. You belong to me. I don't care who you with. You understand me? See, I told you I was going to prove everything that I said over here tonight. And like I said, I've given my conjecture on some things, but certain things here, that's why I let all this play here. You can go back and see like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But anyway, let's get back to it.
A few months later in 2016, where Cassie will finally pack up her stuff and make an attempt to really leave Diddy seriously for the first time. The altercation took place when they were in the middle of a cuckold session, aka a freak-off session. Now, a drunk Diddy out of nowhere just began to punch Cassie. Cassie ran out the hotel room. Diddy chased her down with glass vases, throwing it at Cassie as she ran down the hallway, got into the elevator, was able to get to the lobby safely, and went home. After this incident, she went to Florida to stay with a friend and hide out as she tried to figure out how she's going to navigate life without Diddy. But James Cruz, the president of Bad Boy, gave Cassie a call and let Cassie know if she don't come back to Diddy, they won't be releasing any of her music. A female worker from Sony.
And see, if that occurred at that point, being that she endured all this that she say, allegedly she endured, at that point, she should have been like, hey, no, it's not worth my health and my safety. No. See, nobody can use you unless you allow them to. That's the thing. But see, with the way a lot of the female mindset works, especially today, you're looking at what glitters and you saying, well, you know, I want this or whatever. See, that's the first thing. How bad you want something, what you willing to put up with? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So no, she can go ahead on with any of that. People talking about he groomed her. No. By the time you get that age, like I said, it would be different if she was a young minor. I would be singing a different tune. But at this point, you old enough to make your own decisions about what you choose to do and what you choose not to do. That's where most people with common sense are coming from. Like I said, I've probably been one of the most vocal you've ever heard. Break it down the way I broke it down over here tonight. But anyway, we're going to let this continue.
Gave Cassie a call and gave her the same ultimatum. Cassie felt trapped. And with nowhere to go, she went back to Diddy because Diddy just held so much power over her life. In 2018, after years of abuse, Cassie had finally got the courage to outright leave Diddy. And she was going to give Diddy a last dinner to let him know that she was done and she was moving on. And she.
See, now stop and think about what Flacco just said. If this is true, most of the women in here, let me put it to you this way. And I want the young women to listen to really hear what I'm saying. Even if you hate my goods, that's fine. I don't care if you hate me. My job is to make you think while it's still legal, because they're working on making it legal, but it's still legal. If somebody did all this to you, which would make more sense? You getting the hell out of Dodge the minute that you found a safe way to do so, or you going, well, I'm going to go back before this person that stomped and beat and kicked me and did all to the point that it's saying that she was unrecognizable. You gonna go back to a dinner to tell him you leaving? Does that sound safe to you? See, yeah, come on now. Let's think about this. How safe did that sound? Somebody that dangerous that you know has beaten you to the point, according to what the documents say, that you unrecognizable, and you gonna go back before him to tell them what you're doing. How about you just get the hell on if you value your life? Huh? Yeah, I'm going there with it. Let's let it continue.
Didn't care about the power he had over her career. She no longer cared about being a star. She just wanted peace. So she was gonna move out the house that he was paying for, and she was gonna give him back the cars he bought her. So at dinner, Cassie told Diddy, yo, I'm done. And Diddy was insisting on staying together, but she said, yo, I'm done. So after dinner, they went back to the house that Diddy is paying for. She ain't want him to come in, but he was insistent on coming into the home that he's paying for. So he barged in with the key that he had for the house. And while in the house, he tried to kiss Cassie. She wouldn't kiss him. So he began to take off her clothes forcefully, laid her down, unbuckled his belt, and violated Cassie against her will. This would be the last straw. Cassie would move out the home that Diddy was paying for, gave him back all the luxurious cars and gifts he got her. She would even find a way out of her bad boy contract and officially breaking all ties with Diddy. Cassie would move on from Diddy and get married and start her own family within a year of breaking up with Diddy. But Diddy is currently having a hard time moving on himself. Diddy is having such a hard time moving on from Cassie, he even created a song about it.
She don't want my love, I guess I gotta move on.
Diddy will go on the Breakfast Club and seemingly confirm the song is about Cassie.
That's what, when I made the record, it was from my public relationship and me having to move on. And so that's how it kind of came together.
Vulnerable, and even to admit that that record is about an ex relationship.
Yeah. I had when you in this game and, you could definitely get an ego, you know what I'm saying, and definitely experience an ego death when it's somebody that you like, nah, we gonna make it through anything, you know what I'm saying? But then when it's over, and then it's over. Like when something's really, really over with a woman, it's over, and you gotta move on. And so I really had to learn that in my life. I didn't want to move on. I don't go out without a fight. I'm like crazy boyfriend.
Right. But even after they married and got kids and everything else, you stir up a lot of shit like that, did he?
If they married and got kids, no, I mean, that's when you got to move on.
Cassie's husband didn't.
Now you heard that audio. Look at how he paused when he said that. Again, I told you, people like that think that they own the people that come into their lives and let them lavish all these expensive gifts on. And let me take time to point something out to you. I think my good brother, DL, I'm going to show you where the flaw in your logic is, good brother. If the feds want you, bruh, ain't no such thing as coming together to undercut them. Let me tell you something I know for a fact about when the feds get ready to come get you. If they come at you and start to question you, they already know everything, because see, for a federal operation, they watch people for months, sometimes up to a year or better. When they come to you, they'll be like, oh, they just want to see if you're going to lie or not. So now nothing they've done is going to undercut nothing with the feds. If they want you, they coming to get you, okay? Not to mention that he already got this Keefe D situation to deal with. So even if that was plausible, which is not, hey, they own that too. So now that wasn't going to save him, good brother. Like you say, you were speculating, but I just want to point that out for the rest of the audience. Now, ain't no such thing as undercutting the feds. Oh, no. Trust me, they have a 98% conviction rate when anytime somebody try to take things to trial. You beat a Fed case, let me tell you something. I don't wish that on none of y'all, but if you ever beat a Fed case, that should be your proof right there that there is a God. You better sit your ass down somewhere. You understand me? Because, boy, look, that 98% conviction rate, that why you think most people plea out if the feds is on them? Because they already got you. Let me tell you, the way they surveil you, a target that they're watching, man, I've said this many times. For a lot of you, especially you young people, probably never seen this movie. Go back and watch the movie Enemy of the State. Now, that's one movie that when I look at it, especially with my background, I say, yeah, they got about as close to accurate as you could get. And that was in 1998, okay? They was basically telling you they had the ability to do all that stuff in that movie then, okay? Fast forward to where we are now, and man, everything that you saw in that movie is on steroids. A lot of y'all have never watched that. Go back and watch that movie, okay? And look, yes, it's Hollywood. They embellish certain things, but with the way that was set up, I was just like, wow, I'm surprised they actually let them put all that in there at that particular time period. You know, because see, a lot of the stuff that they were talking about, for those of you that don't know, it was under development then, okay? And being put into practice in its beta stages. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. If you want to see the type of surveillance that I'm talking about, you can find that on this channel. I did a broadcast on it, on information warfare and the tools within it. Just scroll down the archives and trust me, if you thought that when you live in a society where these people can't surveil you and find out anything they want to, man, by the time you watch that broadcast, you won't. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Yeah, the feds is bad business. Everybody get to singing like canaries when them feds on them, boy, because if you take it to trial, well, you better hope the Lord is on your side, man, because chances are you're not going to beat that conviction. Let's let it wrap up here and continue.
Like this not one bit, and during Pride Month, he will throw up a diss/subliminal at Diddy where he used Diddy's song title Gotta Move On to essentially call out Diddy for being a closeted homosexual and telling him to come out the closet. Cassie, ex-personal assistant, when she was dating Diddy, he spoke out and confirmed everything she stated. He said, "It's all true. I seen it with my own eyes. As her personal assistant, it was sad to watch, but I'm happy she is good now and speaking out." Those are the accusations, and the choice is yours to believe it or not. But let me know in the comment section, whose side are you on? What do you believe? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen to find out how these TDE goons ambushed DJ Academics last night after this man sent a hit. Click on this video here to find out what I'm talking about. I'm going to see you guys in this video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.
So there you have it, family. I did this broadcast tonight here because I know a lot of people have had their say on it. I try to come at things like this from a warning standpoint and a teaching tool to warn other young black people that are enamored by these wealthy lifestyles you see and want to be up on these celebrities. Nothing is worth your health and well-being. I can't stress that and say that enough. And what I was saying there, good brother DL, I didn't say that they were. I said that addressing what you said hypothetically. What I'm saying is if the feds are after you, bro, ain't no neutralizing that. Trust me. I hope you or nobody else have to learn that the hard way. If they do come after you, you're not going to neutralize nothing. The evidence that they have, the resource that they have, brother, they want you, they coming. Okay? You better look that up. An 8% conviction rate. And see, let me throw this out there. You say they never came at him. Do you really think that they're not looking at him now? You really think they jump out there and just tell people who they coming after? Nah, man. A lot of times you think about what you've seen, but a lot of your favorite, athletes, celebrities, whatever, they get caught up in something, they just pop up out the blue, brother. They don't tell you that they watching you, okay? So I'm just saying, man, don't believe me though. A lot is gonna reveal itself in the coming few months. Fact of business, it's not gonna take a long time for a lot of what we cover here tonight for the rest of the things to start happening. And again, like I said, just start expecting some accidents because it's not over yet. I guarantee you that. No, when you dealing with the type of narcissist that Puffy is and people like that, yeah, he paid that money out, but he looking at like, motherfucker, I ain't taking this ill. I'm gonna get you back for this. Trust me, okay? I hope the guy, she's safe because knowing his history, it ain't looking good. But anyway, family, I hope everybody got something out of this. Please sit down and talk to your children, especially your young daughters. If you're a black parent, make sure that you digest what was said here tonight and make sure that you have it instilled in them that they're not willing to sell their soul for money or any other thing, okay? Because it's never worth it. So with that said, salute to everybody. I want you to be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Black first. And I will see you all in future content.
It's the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and we still have a lot of discrepancies as far as the origins of hip hop, a lot of claims, who did what, who was the first this, who was the this and that, and such. But at the end of the day, we need a definitive story, all right? And that story can only be told by the founders of this culture.
Like everything was being driven and influenced by young, black, American culture. Like the slang, the style of dress, the initial music that we chose.
You look at all the boroughs, you got, money making Manhattan and money earning Mount Vernon and Crooklyn. The Bronx was the boogie down Bronx. We was partying up there.
I am Coke LaRock, the first MC of hip hop. First cat to pick the mic up.
I introduced rapping to the turntable because when I came with it, nobody in the world was doing it. I'm right after Rudy Ray Moore.
They want to come in the mix. They want to say, we started. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. What came to be known as hip hop was solely an African-American creation.
What would you get out of some Jamaican toast? What is that? I've never heard of a rapper use a Jamaican toast or a Jamaican fleur as a rhyme. I never heard of it, and I don't know where that myth came from.
My name is legendary King Trixie from the Bronx, BX from the West Side. I am the first break dancer.
That narrative that hip hop has had 3 founding fathers that's been rolling for the last almost 30 years, which isn't true. You don't have just 3 people who created hip hop. Hip hop was created by a number of different people.
I am the grandfather, the godfather of the graffiti culture. I am the first element of hip hop.
The roots of hip hop being Jamaican, absolutely false.
My name is MC Sha-Rock. I am a founding member of the MC/rap culture.
Cassette tapes was the internet of our time. It just traveled around by hand.
Well, I know for a fact that the B-Boy stand started from the guards, the 5%ers that would be at the jams back in the days who were acting as security.
If they get the real truth of how it all was created, then so many lies would not be able to be in existence.
When we talk about hip hop and what it is, it's an extension of the music and the instrumentation that our forefathers created.
Check out the live stream premiere of the documentary short, It's Bigger Than Hip Hop, The Black American Family Tree, and Q&A, a fundraiser to create a series detailing music's evolution. Go to DewanB.com for streaming passes and crowdfunding.